Hi,
Deer in the headlights.
Hi, I'm Super Sue Finneron, and this, of course, is the Get Your Shit Together podcast. SHIT being an acronym for Success, Health, Inspiration, and Transformation. Very lucky to have with me again this morning. Actually, I'm not lucky. I'm grateful to have with me this morning Mia Jerritt from Integrated Life Strategies. Good morning, Mia.
Good morning, Sue.
I feel like I'm on one of those morning talk shows.
We are.
In, like back east in Toronto, Eat Your Heart Out, Toronto. Central.
Well, it is morning, and we're on your talk show.
That's right.
So here we are.
I always wanted a talk show.
Can you imagine if someone had a listening show? Be really quiet, maybe?
It's not very entertaining, is it?
I think it is.
They're listening, hopefully.
Good point.
We have lots of exciting stuff coming up on the Get Your Shit Together podcast and vlog, I guess it's become, talk show. And really looking forward to some great adventures this month and some great guests. But Mia is here, and today we are going to talk about something I'm so good at. We're going to talk about procrastination and how it's attached to perfectionism. Yeah. Now, I do not consider myself a perfectionist, but I have been known to procrastinate from time to time. And would you call yourself either one of those?
Neither.
Yeah.
Neither. There's such a big difference between procrastination and doing the very best you can. They're very different.
Okay.
Because perfectionism lives in your head.
Yep.
And it's a strategy to control. And just doing the best you can is a healthy approach to a task, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And it's unbelievable how many people suffer from perfectionism.
And it just paralyzes them from to do anything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that is where the procrastination piece comes into play. So if they can't see how the thing can be perfect, then they'll just put it off and put it off and put it off and put it off.
Okay, I have done that, especially when I was going to university.
Yeah. Well, you shared a little bit about perfectionism and procrastination around this project.
Fair enough. But as you can all tell, it's not perfect.
Yeah, but maybe share that experience around your first podcast. And
obviously, I recorded a few, and I would keep going back going, no, that's not right, that's not right, that's not right. And finally, I realized that if I didn't put something out there, it was never going to get out there. But it's very hard when you're sharing yourself with people, and especially when people know you a certain way. And I think people have an impression of who they think I am. And then this podcast gets people to see me in a different light, I hope. And
also yourself.
Yes, for sure. It's a total self-exploration.
Yeah, because the interesting thing is the way that people see you is a perception that you've created for yourself.
Yep.
That people see me this way, therefore I have to be this way. But really, unless you ask someone, a jury of your peers, the actual question, how do you see me exactly? Then everything's a perception, right?
Yeah. No, and that's a fair comment. But just, if I'm out socially and I meet somebody new, I always just say, hi, I'm Sue. I don't go into my background because I just want to be Sue.
Yeah.
And then an hour or so later, somebody will say to them, well, that's Sue Finneron. And then they come back to me and they go, oh my God, you're Sue Finneron? And I go, well, what were you expecting? Apparently, it's not this.
Just as a funny side note to that story, I always get, oh, you're Boomer's sister. Or you're Kathy's sister. I'm like, that's interesting. That's how people see me.
Well, and I, just yesterday, I was talking to somebody that you were going to be joining me today, and I said, oh, it's Mia Jerritt. And I said, she has a company called Integrated Life Strategies, but she used to own Fitness Excellence and then the Core Back Studio, and they're all like, And then I go, well, probably know Kathy, her sister. Oh
Yeah. Just because there's so much more in the public eye. Yeah.
Well, not anymore.
Not anymore.
No.
Yeah. Oh, and interesting how many people have asked if Boomer's my husband, which is actually really, really funny.
Well, at least if you were your dad's wife.
Oh no.
It used to happen probably every couple of months at the dealership.
Oh gosh. Okay, that's funny. You win. That's the best story.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I want to share something about procrastination that's really interesting. If you do a little bit of research into it, there's something. Some people thrive on perfectionism. Some people thrive on the concept of procrastination. So there's like situational procrastinators, where if there's a deadline involved, they might wait till the very last minute of the very last day, but sometimes that's when they do their very best work. So a situational procrastinator is often someone who, that's just a strategy that they've created for themselves for whatever reason, as opposed to a chronic procrastinator who, like weight loss, let's just use that as an example because it's easy. I'm going to lose weight when, but there's no deadline.
Yeah.
So it's always out there. It's like chronically procrastinating something. I am going to start saving money when. So really breaking the two and looking at it from your own perspective, like, I'm a total chronic procrastinator or a situational procrastinator.
So the situational procrastinator is the person that can use it actually as a tool.
Yes, absolutely. Like there's a gremlin that lives in them that is screaming, deadline, deadline, deadline.
Yeah, well, I kind of need to have a deadline.
Yep.
Like in this, now that I just did an interview with the magazine, with Trio magazine, and the magazine's going to come out, and I need to have some podcast stuff. So I have a deadline for the end of the month, which is great for me because it
absolutely
makes you get the job done. Yeah.
For the end of May.
Yeah.
And this is May 2nd, and you're already tackling. So I'm not even sure that I would call that a situational.
Well, it is. I'm going to say, yeah, and I get that. I'm tackling it, but if you don't, this isn't something I can do all in one day.
Well, a situational procrastinator would tackle it all in one day. They'd line up 9 podcasts all in one day with 9 people, and they'd wait, and then they'd edit it all night long, and yeah. So, yeah.
I'm not a situational procrastinator.
So the interesting thing about situational procrastinators is it's at the expense of something usually.
Give me an example.
Anxiety, stress, family, health. You know, when you pull 24 hours straight on something, because you wait till the very last minute to get the thing done because you've procrastinated for so long, it's at the expense of something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and it's really interesting when people start looking at that, and if they can actually dive underneath to figure out what is it that has me doing that? Like, what's the emotion that's attached to that has me waiting to the very last minute? Is it perfectionism? Is it thinking, I'm just going to think this through one more time, whatever it might be? So,
but I'm sure it's different things for different people.
It is.
Yeah. And one of which I'm sure is something that we talked about last time, and that was fear. Yeah. Like this. Fear of its success, fear of failure.
Fear of being judged.
Yeah.
Fear of rejection. Fear of being vulnerable. Fear of looking stupid.
So, Mia is, of course, is a coach, and so do you have clients that don't realize that they're procrastinators, or are we aware mainly that we are?
I have not had a client that isn't aware.
Yeah.
What they might not be aware of is to the extent of their procrastination and what it's at the expense of.
Yeah.
So we always do an exercise around the strategies that they employ around their procrastination, and then the emotion that's attached to it, and what that's all at the expense of.
So, just so people that how want to identify it themselves, what sort of strategies would people have
for procrastination?
Yeah. Aren't they all the same?
Not necessarily. Excuses.
Okay.
Retreating. Blaming. Getting really, really busy doing nothing. Getting really, really, I'm so busy, like it's a status, and at the expense of not getting the things done that need to be done. So they distract themselves with stuff.
Right.
So that they don't have to focus on the thing that needs to be done. Yeah.
All right. So your first steps are obviously being aware that that's
always,
always, and then recognizing that you are, and then how do you overcome it? How do you get through to the other side?
Well, we talked a bit about this before, and I think it was in our fears when we talked about the first step is awareness, and then within awareness you have choice. Right? The dreaded choice. And you have three choices. You've got a choice that can be empowering, you can have a choice that's disempowering, or you can have a choice that's neither, which is inherently disempowering. So,
like, keep on procrastinating.
Yeah, exactly. Or just get busier, or whatever it happens to be. So you have your awareness around, oh yeah, I do that thing that does that thing. What do you want to do about it? Something or nothing. If it's something, then you declare action or a practice. Today I'm going to take the one thing that I absolutely do not want to do more than anything, and I'm going to do it first. I call it a shit list. So you tackle your shit list from hardest to easiest.
I used to do that at work all the time. Because
it's a great strategy.
It's like 10% of your job that you absolutely hate, really, in anything you do, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you can get it done first.
Absolutely. So it's really about the awareness and the choice, and then declaring what it is you're going to do. And part of the action or the practice, sometimes it really helps to have an accountability partner around that. So someone that you can really count on that's going to hold you accountable to what you say you're going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I live with a list maker.
Perfect. Perfect.
Spreadsheets and lists. Very effective, but he puts things on there like ironing, laundry. I just kind of think that these things
happen.
They just get done. But I think he just likes to scratch them off the list.
Absolutely. That is a practice that some people thrive on. I am one of those.
Yeah.
I love lists because I love removing things from them.
So that is a strategy on how to deal with procrastination.
Absolutely.
Put the worst one at the top. Don't leave it to the end.
That's what, yeah.
If you can.
Your shit list. So one of the things around perfectionism that's, it's like really challenging for people to admit or recognize is that it's a strategy or a control mechanism because there's so much chaos somewhere else. And it's usually the chaos is in your head.
Yeah, and I think very busy people tend to be perfectionists. A lot of them.
Very, very often, yeah. There's a great quote by Brene Brown that perfectionism is a shame-based fear of being absolutely ordinary. Mm-hmm. And so really presenting yourself in a way that makes you appear to be something, whatever it happens to be.
Yeah.
Like I know so many perfectionists that they will not leave the house without everything perfect, manicured fingers, makeup, perfect clothing, like their vehicle's immaculate, everything is immaculate. And meanwhile, their life is falling apart, or their head is in chaos. Like they're so unhappy, so miserably unhappy.
So next time you see that gorgeous lady at the grocery store, she's suffering on the inside. Just kidding.
Maybe.
No, but don't you? Like I'm not one of those people, and I find the older I get, the less I really care about what I look like when I go to the grocery store.
So just in listening to what you're sharing, and just something for people to consider is to really take a look at whether perfectionism is showing up or just a real passion to do a really great job at whatever you tackle.
And you know what? That would be Dave.
That would be Dave.
That I live with, obviously, because he's so good at so many things, and he wants, whatever I do or whatever I put out to be the best it can be.
Yeah.
And sometimes I won't show him things because I just need to get it out. Whereas if I know I show it to Dave, he'll go, well, you could have done this, and you could have done that, you could have done this, and I'm like, no, we just need to
Get it out.
Get it out. Get it done. And
sounds like there's a hint of perfectionism in there. I mean, I don't know.
oh, yeah, no, definitely. But he does always want to be the best he can possibly be, which is an amazing trait. And obviously something I'm attracted to.
Yeah, and I feel like that is, I feel like that's sort of your approach too. Is that you really tackle things and you want to do the best job that you can?
Yeah, but I'm not quite to the same extent that he is, I don't think.
No, like you're pretty happy to just let some stuff go. Like you said, like you can walk out the front door and you don't care if you're in your Birkenstocks and your baggy. Yeah, so deciding what's really important to you and then just doing the very best job you can. It's just such a healthy approach to anything and everything, right?
Yeah, that's right. Well, and it's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress,
as you learn, you do. As you learn or as you experience different things in life, you get a greater idea of what's important.
And who you are.
Yeah, oh, very much so.
Who you are first and foremost, right? Like meet yourself where you're at. Hi, Mia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Great.
Well, okay, that's been great. Are you a procrastinator? Are you a perfectionist? If you are, and you are hoping to, or you want to do a little bit more work around it, Mia, of course, is a coach, and you can find her at integratedlifestrategies.ca or Mia Jerritt on Facebook, Mia Jerritt on Instagram.
Yep. Or my direct email is lifecoach@miajerritt.com.
But I will leave the information in the bottom of this if you're watching it on YouTube. If you are, please subscribe. So we'll look forward to seeing you next time.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Great work. Take care.